various world conflicts that are going on right now can be resolved peacefully. But the truth of the matter is that they could just as easily get worse.
I teach a Vietnam War class, and I teach a World War II class. And I so often find myself, going over the material and thinking, wow, there's some real similarities here with what's going on. And it's rather frightening because I understand these cycles in history. And I don't want to make young people, more nervous than they already are, because there are a lot of anxiety going on. But I think that knowledge is power, and if they feel like they can do something, at least ameliorate it, try to do something to prepare or help in some way or feel like they can be helpful, I think that's extremely important. But it really comes down to, I think, that famous quote by Lyndon Baines Johnson at the beginning of the escalation of the Vietnam War, where he said he wasn't a particularly articulate man, but he was an interesting historical character. But he did some great things, but the Vietnam War wasn't one of them. But he said that basically it comes down to war is killing a man you don't even know well enough to hate. And that is really what it comes down to. And if people just, I often, when I talk to people, I say, isn't it interesting that long after the war is over, former combatants get together and they're like dear old friends, and they have this respect for one another. What if we could do that before? Skip to the end part where we're now friends, and not enemies. And I see that with Vietnam vets. They go to Vietnam, they meet people who were NVA or the North Vietnamese Army or Viet Cong, and they get together, and the people in the village find the elders who were in the war, and they get together with the older Americans who were there, and they break bread together, or they eat together, and they talk, through interpreters or whatever. But why can't we skip to that part and dispense with the killing? There's so many cases of that I know you've heard of. The Christmas truce, unofficial Christmas truce in World War I, where they were singing Christmas carols, and then the generals said, oh, we got to rotate the people out of there because they're getting too familiar with the enemy. So they can't connect. But allowed to connect, we could avoid it. If we could only put aside those differences and realize that we are more alike than we think, and ultimately coming back to what we started with, we are the one,